Understanding how fruit affects your body after 60 requires looking beyond simple categories of good and bad. The relationship between fruit consumption and senior health involves blood sugar management, medication interactions, nutrient density, and individual metabolic responses. No fruit is inherently dangerous, but certain choices require more awareness and moderation, particularly when managing chronic conditions or taking specific medications. The goal is not to eliminate foods but to make informed decisions based on your unique health circumstances. Fruit contains natural sugars, primarily fructose and glucose, along with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds. The balance between these components determines how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream and how your body responds. As you age, your metabolism changes. Insulin sensitivity often decreases, meaning your cells do not respond as efficiently to insulin signals. This makes blood sugar regulation more challenging, particularly after eating foods with high glycemic loads. Understanding these changes helps you select fruits that support rather than strain your metabolic system. Portion size matters more than most people realize. A small serving of a higher sugar fruit alongside protein or healthy fat produces a very different metabolic response than eating a large portion alone. The fiber, fat, and protein slow digestion and moderate the rate at which sugar enters your bloodstream. This principle applies across all fruit choices. Even fruits with higher natural sugar content can fit into a healthy eating pattern when consumed mindfully and in appropriate amounts. Grapes present a useful example of how processing and selection affect nutritional value. Seedless varieties have been bred primarily for sweetness and convenience, which often means higher sugar concentration and less fiber compared to seeded varieties. 1 cup of seedless grapes contains approximately 23 grams of sugar with minimal fiber to slow its absorption. For someone with insulin resistance or diabetes, this can create a rapid blood sugar increase followed by an energy crash. However, this does not mean grapes should be completely avoided. A small handful of grapes, perhaps 10 to 15, paired with a protein source like cheese or nuts, produces a much more moderate blood sugar response. The protein and fat slow gastric emptying, which means sugar enters the bloodstream more gradually. Seeded grape varieties, when available, offer slightly more fiber and contain higher concentrations of beneficial compounds like resveratrol, particularly in the seeds and skin. These compounds support cardiovascular health and may help protect against cellular aging. The key with grapes is treating them as a small component of a balanced snack rather than eating them by the bowlful. If you enjoy grapes and want to include them regularly, monitor your blood sugar response if you have diabetes or prediabetes. Testing your glucose levels before eating and 2 hours afterwards shows you exactly how your body handles that particular food. This personalized information proves more valuable than general guidelines, since individual responses vary considerably. Mangoes represent another fruit where portion awareness becomes critical. These tropical fruits are exceptionally sweet, with one medium mango containing approximately 45 grams of sugar. That sugar content rivals many desserts. For someone managing their weight, blood sugar, or cardiovascular risk factors, eating a whole mango at once creates a substantial metabolic challenge. The rapid influx of sugar triggers insulin release, promotes fat storage when consumed in excessive energy needs, and can contribute to inflammation when part of a pattern of high sugar intake. Yet mangoes also contain beneficial nutrients, including vitamin C, vitamin A, folate, and various antioxidant compounds. The solution is not elimination but appropriate portioning. A few slices of mango, perhaps 1/4 to 1/3 of a medium fruit, provides the flavor and some nutritional benefit without the overwhelming sugar load. Combining those slices with Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a small handful of nuts creates a more balanced snack that satisfies without spiking blood sugar dramatically. Tropical fruits in general tend toward higher sugar content compared to berries or citrus fruits. This reflects their evolutionary development in climates where attracting animals for seed dispersal meant producing extremely sweet flesh. Pineapple, papaya, and mango all fall into this category. They offer genuine nutritional value but require more careful portion control than lower sugar alternatives. When you have a choice between mango and berries, and blood sugar management is a concern, the berries provide sweetness with significantly less metabolic impact. The stage of ripeness dramatically affects how fruit impacts your blood sugar. Bananas demonstrate this principle clearly. An underripe banana with some green coloring contains more resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and acts more like fiber. This resistant starch feeds beneficial gut bacteria and produces a more moderate blood sugar response. As the banana ripens and develops brown spots, enzymes break down that resistant starch into simple sugars that digest and absorb quickly. A firm, slightly green banana might contain 8 to 10 grams of resistant starch along with its natural sugars. An overripe, spotted banana has converted most of that resistant starch to simple sugars, meaning it behaves more like candy in your digestive system. The glycemic response differs substantially. For seniors managing blood sugar, choosing firmer bananas and pairing them with protein or fat makes them far more metabolically friendly. A sliced firm banana with almond butter provides sustained energy. An overripe banana eaten alone creates a spike in crash pattern that leaves you tired and hungry again within an hour or two. This does not mean bananas are problematic foods. It means understanding ripeness and pairing strategies allows you to include them wisely. If you prefer sweeter, softer bananas, eat smaller portions and always combine them with protein. If you want a more substantial serving, choose firmer fruit that has not fully ripened. These small adjustments make significant differences in how your body responds. Individual tolerance varies, but understanding general patterns helps you make better choices. Some people handle bananas well at any ripeness stage. Others notice distinct differences in energy levels and hunger patterns depending on how ripe the fruit is. Paying attention to your own response rather than following rigid rules gives you the most useful information. Keep mental notes about how you feel 1 to 2 hours after eating different fruits. Sustained energy suggests good metabolic compatibility. Hunger, fatigue, or cravings indicate that food may not suit your current metabolic state. Medication interactions present a different category of concern altogether, one that goes beyond sugar content and metabolic response. Grapefruit stands out as the most significant example affecting seniors. This citrus fruit contains compounds called furanocoumarins that interfere with an enzyme system in your liver and intestines called cytochrome P453A4, often abbreviated as CYP3A4. This enzyme system metabolizes approximately half of all prescription medications, breaking them down so they can be eliminated from your body. When grapefruit compounds inhibit this enzyme system, medications that normally would be broken down and eliminated instead accumulate in your bloodstream. Blood levels can increase by 2 to 3 times or even higher in some cases. For medications with narrow therapeutic windows, where the difference between an effective dose and a toxic dose is small, this accumulation can create serious problems. Blood pressure medications, cholesterol-lowering statins, certain heart rhythm drugs, some anti-anxiety medications, and numerous other prescriptions interact with grapefruit. The effect is not immediate but can last 24 hours or longer from a single serving of grapefruit. Having grapefruit juice with breakfast means the enzyme inhibition continues through the entire day, affecting any medication you take during that period. The interaction occurs with fresh grapefruit, grapefruit juice, and even grapefruit supplements. The amount needed to cause problems can be quite small, sometimes just 1 glass of juice or half a grapefruit. This does not mean grapefruit is poisonous or inherently dangerous. It means that if you take any prescription medications, you need to check for interactions before consuming grapefruit products regularly. Your pharmacist can review your medication list and identify any that interact with grapefruit. Some people take no interacting medications and can enjoy grapefruit freely. Others need to avoid it completely while on certain prescriptions. This represents personalized nutrition at its most important, where a food perfectly fine for one person creates real risks for another. Other citrus fruits do not generally cause the same interaction. Oranges, tangerines, lemons, and limes do not contain significant amounts of furanocoumarins and do not inhibit the CYP3A4 enzyme system. If you love citrus and discover grapefruit interacts with your medications, these alternatives provide similar flavor profiles and nutritional benefits without the drug interaction concerns. Always inform your healthcare providers about all foods, supplements, and over-the-counter products you consume regularly. They can help you identify potential interactions and make appropriate adjustments. Pomelo, a large citrus fruit popular in some Asian cuisines, contains similar compounds to grapefruit and causes the same medication interactions. Seville oranges, sometimes used in marmalades, also contain furanocoumarins and should be treated with the same caution as grapefruit. Sweet oranges, the common variety sold in most stores, do not pose these risks. Reading labels on citrus products and asking about ingredients in restaurants helps you avoid unexpected interactions. The broader principle here is that foods are not simply fuel or sources of vitamins. They are biochemically active substances that interact with your body's systems in complex ways. Some of these interactions support health. Others can interfere with medications or exacerbate existing conditions. Neither extreme of thinking, that all natural foods are automatically safe or that certain foods are inherently toxic, reflects reality. Context matters enormously. Your age, health conditions, medications, and individual metabolic characteristics all influence how specific foods affect you. Moving beyond foods requiring caution, many fruits offer substantial benefits for seniors when chosen wisely and consumed regularly. These fruits provide nutrients that address common age-related concerns including cardiovascular health, cognitive function, digestive regularity, and immune support. They tend to have favorable ratios of fiber to sugar, meaning they provide sweetness and satisfaction without causing dramatic blood sugar fluctuations. They also contain beneficial plant compounds that research links to reduced disease risk and better health outcomes in older adults. Apples represent one of the most accessible and beneficial fruit choices for seniors. The familiar saying about an apple a day keeping the doctor away has more scientific support than many people realize. Apples contain both soluble and insoluble fiber, with much of the beneficial fiber concentrated in the skin. Pectin, a type of soluble fiber abundant in apples, helps lower cholesterol by binding to it in the digestive tract and promoting its elimination. The insoluble fiber supports regular bowel movements, a common concern as digestive motility naturally slows with age. The antioxidants in apples, particularly concentrated in the peel, include quercetin and various polyphenol that help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Research has linked regular apple consumption to lower rates of cardiovascular disease, better blood sugar control, and reduced risk of certain cancers. A medium apple with skin provides approximately 4 grams of fiber and only about 19 grams of sugar, making it one of the more favorable fiber-to-sugar ratios among commonly available fruits. The key to maximizing apple benefits is eating them with the skin, where approximately 2/3 of the antioxidants reside. Peeling removes much of what makes apples nutritionally valuable. If pesticide residue concerns you, buying organic apples or washing conventional apples thoroughly addresses that issue without sacrificing the nutritional skin. Slicing apples and pairing them with a protein source like cheese, nut butter, or a handful of nuts creates a satisfying snack that provides sustained energy without blood sugar spikes. Apple varieties differ in their flavor profiles and sugar content, but most remain appropriate choices for seniors. Tart varieties like Granny Smith contain slightly less sugar and more malic acid, which some people find supports digestion. Sweeter varieties like Fuji or Gala provide more natural sweetness but still contain substantial fiber that moderates sugar absorption. The variety matters less than eating the whole fruit with skin and incorporating apples into a balanced dietary pattern. Whole oranges offer benefits that orange juice simply cannot match. When you drink orange juice, even fresh squeezed varieties, you consume the sugar from multiple oranges without the fiber that normally accompanies it. An 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains the sugar from 3 to 4 oranges with virtually no fiber. Your body processes this similar to soda, creating a rapid blood sugar increase. In contrast, eating one whole orange provides approximately 70 milligrams of vitamin C along with 3 grams of fiber that slows sugar absorption and supports digestive health. The vitamin C in oranges serves multiple functions critical for aging bodies. It acts as an antioxidant, protecting cells from oxidative damage. It supports collagen synthesis, maintaining skin elasticity, joint integrity, and blood vessel strength. Vitamin C also enhances iron absorption from plant foods, particularly important for seniors who may be at risk for iron deficiency anemia. The flavonoids in oranges, including hesperidin and naringenin, provide additional anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular benefits that research has linked to reduced stroke risk. Eating whole oranges requires slightly more effort than drinking juice, but that effort translates to substantial health benefits. The act of chewing begins the digestive process and promotes satiety through both mechanical feedback and slower consumption. The fiber fills your stomach and creates a feeling of fullness that juice cannot provide. For seniors concerned about cardiovascular health, cognitive function, or blood sugar management, switching from orange juice to whole oranges represents one of the most impactful dietary changes possible. Citrus fruits in general provide valuable nutrients with relatively moderate sugar content compared to tropical fruits. Tangerines, clementines, and mandarins offer easy-to-peel convenience with similar nutritional profiles to oranges. Grapefruit, medication interactions aside, provides unique compounds that may support weight management and metabolic health. The key across all citrus is choosing whole fruit over juice and being mindful of portion sizes. 1 to 2 servings daily fits well within most healthy eating patterns for seniors. Blueberries stand out among fruits for their exceptional antioxidant content and research-backed cognitive benefits. These small berries contain high concentrations of anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for their deep blue color. Anthocyanins cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in brain regions involved in learning and memory. Research published in prominent neurology journals has demonstrated that regular blueberry consumption associates with slower rates of cognitive decline in older adults. Some studies suggest the benefit may delay cognitive aging by 2 to 3 years. The cardiovascular benefits of blueberries complement their brain protective effects. Regular consumption has been shown to improve endothelial function, meaning the cells lining blood vessels work more efficiently. This translates to better blood pressure control, improved circulation, and reduced arterial stiffness. Studies have found that seniors consuming blueberries regularly experience modest but meaningful reductions in blood pressure, particularly systolic pressure. These effects appear to result from the combination of anthocyanins and other polyphenol acting on multiple pathways involved in vascular health. From a practical standpoint, blueberries offer remarkable versatility. Fresh blueberries work well in countless dishes, from topping yogurt or oatmeal to adding to salads for a burst of color and flavor. Frozen blueberries retain nearly all their nutritional value and cost significantly less than fresh, making them accessible year-round regardless of season or budget. A serving of 1/2 to 1 cup daily provides substantial benefits without excessive sugar intake. Blueberries contain approximately 15 grams of sugar per cup along with 4 grams of fiber, giving them a favorable nutritional profile. Other berries including strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries provide similar benefits with their own unique combinations of antioxidants and phytonutrients. Strawberries offer high vitamin C content. Raspberries provide exceptional fiber, with 8 grams per cup. Blackberries contain vitamin K and manganese alongside their antioxidants. Including a variety of berries in your diet ensures you receive a broad spectrum of beneficial compounds. The sugar content across berries remains relatively low compared to other fruit categories, making them excellent choices for blood sugar management. The concept of eating fruits in their whole form rather than as juice or dried fruit applies particularly to berries. While dried cranberries or raisins might seem like convenient snacks, the drying process concentrates sugars dramatically. What was a moderate sugar fruit becomes a high sugar snack that can spike blood sugar significantly. A 1/4 cup of raisins contains nearly the same sugar as a candy bar. Similarly, fruit juices and smoothies that blend multiple fruits create sugar loads that whole fruit consumption naturally limits through satiety and fiber content. Preparation methods influence how well you absorb the nutrients in fruits. Pairing fruits with sources of healthy fats enhances absorption of fat-soluble compounds like certain antioxidants. Adding a handful of nuts to your berries, drizzling sliced apples with almond butter, or enjoying orange segments with a few walnuts optimizes nutrient uptake. These combinations also improve blood sugar responses by adding protein and fat that slow carbohydrate digestion. The result is steadier energy and better appetite control compared to eating fruit alone. Timing of fruit consumption matters for some individuals, particularly those managing blood sugar conditions. Eating fruit as part of a meal that includes protein, healthy fats, and vegetables produces a more moderate glycemic response than eating fruit alone as a snack. Some people do well with fruit at breakfast, while others find it triggers cravings or energy crashes. Evening fruit consumption can interfere with sleep for those sensitive to sugar before bed. Experimenting with timing helps you identify patterns that work best for your body. Pomegranates have been valued for thousands of years across multiple cultures, and contemporary research increasingly validates their health-promoting properties. These fruits contain exceptionally high levels of polyphenol, particularly punicalagins and ellagic acid, which exhibit potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. The antioxidant capacity of pomegranate juice exceeds that of red wine or green tea in laboratory measurements, though this does not automatically translate to superior health benefits, since absorption and bioavailability also matter. Research on pomegranates and cardiovascular health shows promising results. Studies have found that regular pomegranate consumption can improve several markers of heart health including blood pressure, arterial function, and cholesterol profiles. One particularly notable study found that individuals who consumed pomegranate juice daily for 1 year showed reduced arterial plaque compared to control groups. The mechanisms appear to involve multiple pathways, including reducing oxidative stress on blood vessel walls, improving nitric oxide availability for better vasodilation, and reducing inflammatory markers. The challenge with pomegranates lies in practical consumption. The fruit itself requires effort to extract the seeds, and many people turn to pomegranate juice for convenience. However, pomegranate juice contains concentrated sugars just like other fruit juices. An 8-ounce serving provides approximately 30 grams of sugar along with the beneficial polyphenol. For seniors managing blood sugar, this presents a trade-off between obtaining the cardiovascular compounds and avoiding excessive sugar intake. The solution may involve smaller portions of juice, perhaps 2 to 4 ounces, or focusing on the whole fruit seeds when feasible. Fresh pomegranate seeds, called arils, provide the benefits with less concentrated sugar and additional fiber. Adding a 1/4 to 1/2 cup of arils to salads, yogurt, or grain bowls delivers meaningful amounts of beneficial compounds without overwhelming sugar content. The seeds also provide vitamin K, potassium, and vitamin C alongside their signature polyphenol. For those who find extracting seeds too labor-intensive, purchasing pre-packaged arils, though more expensive, offers convenience without the sugar concentration of juice. The research on pomegranates, while encouraging, requires appropriate context. Most studies use pomegranate juice or concentrated extracts at doses higher than what most people would consume through whole fruit. The cardiovascular benefits observed in research settings may not fully translate to eating moderate amounts of pomegranate seeds occasionally. This does not diminish pomegranate's value as part of a healthy diet, but suggests we should view it as one beneficial food among many rather than a miracle cure. Individual responses to different fruits vary based on genetics, gut microbiome composition, existing health conditions, and medication regimens. Some people metabolize fructose efficiently and experience no issues with higher sugar fruits in moderate amounts. Others have genetic variations affecting fructose metabolism, making them more susceptible to metabolic problems from fruit sugar. The only way to know your personal response is through observation and, when relevant, monitoring with tools like glucose meters or regular health screenings. Medication awareness extends beyond grapefruit interactions. Some fruits are naturally high in vitamin K, which can interfere with blood-thinning medications like warfarin. Prunes and prune juice, while excellent for digestive regularity, contain substantial vitamin K that requires consistent intake patterns for people on these medications. The issue is not that these fruits are dangerous, but that varying intake creates inconsistent medication effects. If you take warfarin or similar anticoagulants, inform your healthcare provider about your typical fruit consumption so dosing can be appropriately adjusted. Potassium content in fruits matters for individuals with kidney disease or those taking certain blood pressure or heart medications. Bananas, oranges, and many other fruits contain beneficial potassium that most people need more of. But individuals with compromised kidney function or on potassium-sparing medications may need to limit high potassium foods. Again, this represents individualized nutrition where blanket recommendations fail to account for specific medical circumstances. The practical implementation of fruit choices involves considering portion sizes, timing, and combinations. A reasonable target for most seniors involves 2 to 3 servings of whole fruit daily, with emphasis on lower sugar options like berries, apples, and citrus. A serving equals 1 medium piece of fruit, 1 cup of berries, or half cup of chopped fruit. Distributing fruit intake across meals rather than consuming multiple servings at once helps maintain stable blood sugar. Pairing fruit with protein or healthy fats at each consumption further moderates glycemic response. Quality considerations extend beyond organic versus conventional. Seasonal, locally grown fruit tends to be harvested riper and may contain higher nutrient levels than fruit picked early for long-distance transport. However, frozen fruit picked at peak ripeness often matches or exceeds the nutrient content of fresh fruit that has traveled long distances or sat in storage. Cost and accessibility should guide choices as much as nutritional optimization. A diet rich in affordable frozen berries provides more benefit than one lacking fruit because fresh organic options seem too expensive. Storage and preparation affect nutrient retention. Cutting fruit exposes surfaces to oxygen, which gradually degrades certain vitamins, particularly vitamin C. Preparing fruit shortly before eating preserves maximum nutrient content. Storing whole fruit properly, berries refrigerated and fruits like apples and oranges in cool conditions, maintains quality longer. Washing fruit thoroughly before eating removes surface pesticides and contaminants, particularly important for conventionally grown produce. The relationship between fruit consumption and overall dietary patterns matters more than isolated fruit choices. Fruit serves as part of a complete eating approach that includes vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Viewing fruit in isolation misses the broader context of how different foods work together to support health. Someone eating abundant vegetables, moderate fruit, adequate protein, and healthy fats will likely thrive regardless of whether they choose apples or oranges. Someone relying heavily on fruit while neglecting other food groups may struggle despite choosing the healthiest fruit options. Cultural and personal preferences deserve consideration in any dietary approach. If mangoes hold cultural significance or bring genuine joy, finding ways to include them moderately makes more sense than rigid elimination based solely on sugar content. Food provides not just nutrients but also pleasure, social connection, and cultural continuity. These aspects contribute to overall well-being in ways that pure nutritional optimization cannot capture. The goal involves finding balance between health optimization and food enjoyment, not achieving perfect adherence to nutritional ideals at the expense of satisfaction. Digestive tolerance varies significantly among seniors. Some handle raw apples easily while others experience gas or discomfort. Cooked fruit often proves easier to digest, as heat breaks down fiber and cell walls. Applesauce, baked apples, or poached pears provide similar nutrients with gentler digestive impact. If raw fruit causes problems but you want the benefits, trying cooked preparations may offer a solution. The slight nutrient losses from cooking are offset by improved tolerance and increased consumption. Moving forward with fruit choices means taking an experimental, individualized approach. Start with the fruits research supports most strongly for senior health, particularly berries, apples, and citrus. Monitor how your body responds across several weeks. Notice energy patterns, blood sugar levels if you measure them, digestive comfort, and overall well-being. Adjust based on your observations rather than following rigid rules. Consult healthcare providers about potential medication interactions and get personalized guidance for managing any chronic conditions through diet. Fruit represents one component of healthy aging, valuable when chosen wisely and integrated thoughtfully into complete dietary and lifestyle patterns that support your individual health goals and circumstances.